So good evening all. So today's lecture is all about the synchronous counter. So in the earlier video we have seen the designing and the working of a synchronous counter. So what we have seen in the asynchronous counter, in that asynchronous counter each flip-flop will not be triggered on at the same time. They will not respond the clock simultaneously, but the preceding flip-flop will be triggered on from the previous outputs. But in contrast of asynchronous, in synchronous counter each flip-flop will be triggered by the same clock pulse, but they will only the external first flip-flop will get the external inputs and the next flip-flop will get the inputs from the output of the previous one. In asynchronous, the next flip-flop get the triggered on by the output of the previous one, but in synchronous the preceding flip-flop will be triggered will get the inputs from the output of the previous one. This is a very slight difference between asynchronous and synchronous. So first of all we will see how it counts the number of clock pulses in synchronous counter. For this we are taking a very small bit counter, let's say 2-bit counter. So it will have 2 to the power n possible states, means 4 possible states, counting from 0 to 3. Okay, so for this I am taking 2 flip-flops. I am just taking 2 flip-flops. I can extend it later on, but I am just to understand the counting process. I am just taking 2 flip-flops for 2-bit counters. So J, K, this is A flip-flop, J, K, this is B flip-flop, this is QA, this is QB. And as it is in synchronous, all will get the clock simultaneously. All will be triggered on simultaneously. Okay, and the J input and K input we are just giving to the first flip-flop. They are connected to logic 1. So every time it will toggle. And the next flip-flop will get the output from the previous, will get the inputs from the previous output, that is QA. Okay, so this is QA output and this is QB output. QB. Alright, now we see, first we see the counting process in synchronous counter. So for example, what I am taking, I am just taking one side as a state by again considering the output by taking the truth table, and QB will be the MSB and QA will be the LSB. Okay, and what I am considering that before giving any clock pulse, all flip-flops are in the reset state. They are in the reset state. This is 0 and this is 0. Okay, so now we are giving, as we can see, this 2 flip-flop will respond to the negative clock pulse. We are giving the clock pulse with a negative sign. Okay, so we are giving the negative clock pulse. So at the first negative clock pulse arrives the flip-flops, all the flip-flops will be triggered on simultaneously. But the only thing that we have to keep in mind before giving the flip-flop, we have to check whether the inputs of the flip-flops are in a ready position or not. So what we can see, the first flip-flop input is always 1. So this is 1, 1. And this time the second flip-flop will have the inputs 0, 0. Okay, accordingly we can conclude for the outputs of these flip-flop. So now the first negative edge reaches the flip-flops. This is the first clock pulse. So what will happen? All the flip-flop will be triggered on and they will respond according to their inputs. For the first flip-flop input is 1, so output will be toggle. So output will be toggled to 1. For the second flip-flop, inputs are 0. When J and K inputs are 0, it will restore the memory state. Means this will not toggle and it will remain same as the earlier output, 0. Now when the second clock pulse, second negative clock pulse arrives. So before arriving or before applying the second clock pulse, what we can see, the inputs are ready in position or not. This input is always 1 because this is the external input. Now what we see here, now this output is toggles to 1. Now this one will behave as an input for the second. This one will be the input for the second. So both flip-flop having the input 1. So now we are applying the second clock pulse. So what will happen? The first flip-flop will toggle and will produce the output. Earlier state output is 1, so it will toggle to 0. It will toggle to 0. Now this is toggle to 0. Okay, and for second flip-flop input is 1, so again it toggles and the output changes from 0 to 1. Now for the third clock cycle, reaches. Now its input is always 1. Now for the second flip-flop input, this time input is 0. Okay. So what will happen to the output? First flip-flop, as the J and K input are 1, it will toggle the outputs. So it will toggle from 0 to 1. The second flip-flop having the input 0, so it will not change the outputs. So if earlier state was 1, the next state will also be 1. Now it has counted 4 pulses. Now again, when it goes through the next negative pulse, it will restart. It will not count 4. It will just count from 0 to 3, total 4 clock pulses. And again it will repeat counting from 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see this is just the binary equivalent of the decimal number 0, 1, 2 and 3. That's it. So what I want to just explain with this diagram, the counting is remain in the same manner with the toggling action, but the main thing that I want to show you in synchronous counter is main important factor in the synchronous counter is the propagation delay. So I just want to explain what is the propagation delay. And the effect of the propagation delay in a synchronous counter, you can see with the help of taking more number of flip-flops. So I have just taken 2 flip-flops to explain the counting process. You can explain the counting process by taking 4-bit counter, but it will be little bit more complicated. So just to make it easy, I have just taken the case of 2 flip-flops. Now the main effect of this, the main important factor of this synchronous counter is about the time delay. That we can understand if I add more number of flip-flops. So to see the effect of propagation delay, I have to add 2 more counters. At least 2 more counters I have to add. So for this I am adding 2 more counters in that circuit. So I am just taking I am adding 2 more flip-flops. One flip-flop is C, other flip-flop is D. Okay, with the same input J, K, QC, QD. Alright, now what we can see, they will get the same clock pulse as we are giving to all. They will get the same clock pulse, respond to negative clock edge. Okay, now in what way QB reaches to QC? We cannot directly give QB to QC, to the J input of the C flip-flop, because QB comes from QA only. When QA was 1, when the QA output was 1, then only QB occurs. Then only second flip-flop changes the state. Okay, because when it was 1 fed to the input of JK, then only it changes the state. If it was 0, it will not change the state. So it will only change the state when QA was 1. Now in the same way, QC will change. QC not only depend upon QB, it also depend upon QA. Because QB depend upon QA, so indirectly QC also depends upon QA. So we cannot give directly, we cannot give the outputs from QB directly, but in what way we have to give? So like one output we take QA, okay, and one knob we take from QB, and the AND gate, through the AND gate we have to apply the inputs. In that way means QA dot QB, it reaches to the J and K input. What for the next, this QA, QB and the QC output, they are product together, then it reaches to the input of the next flip-flop. In that way you have to give the inputs of the preceding flip-flop. So this effect you can show just by taking more than 2 counters. So that's why the more important factor is about the propagation delay. So that's why I've taken 4-bit counter. Counting will be in the same manner. If you are taking 4-bit counter, then counting will be like QD, QC, QB and QA. And the output will vary from 0, 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1, 1. And after this, we will get 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. will restart after 50. Okay, now what is the effect of this AND gate and why we are adding? As I have already discussed, why we are adding this AND gate, because the QC is the combination of QC input. The C input of the C flip-flop is the combination of QA and QB output both. So that's why they are product together and connected to third flip-flop. In the same way, fourth flip-flop input is the combination of QA, QB and QC. When all these three are 1, then only JK will be 1. If these three are 1, dot QA, dot QB, dot QC. When these three are 1, then only JK input will become 1, and then only fourth flip-flop will trigger out. So this is the general procedure. Now what is the effect of propagation delay by adding the AND gates? So for example, I am just taking the propagation delay of each flip-flop is, let's say, TP. This is TP. Okay, and there is AND gate. If it is a gate, we are applying the input, then it will not produce the output immediately. It will also take some time to produce the output. So there should be some propagation delay of the AND gate as well. So we are taking the propagation delay of AND gate as TG. Okay, so now we can consider the total propagation delay in producing the output. Total delay. For example, let's say this flip-flop has the propagation delay of TP. There is no AND gate in that. This also has the propagation delay of TP. There is no AND gate in that. But now when we reaches to the third flip-flop, what will happen? It has the propagation delay TP plus this TG propagation delay of the AND gate. So total propagation delay after reaching the third flip-flop is TP plus TG. Okay. Now when we reach to the fourth flip-flop, so this has the propagation delay TP and it has taken two AND gates. It uses two AND gates, TG propagation delay first gate and TG propagation delay for the second gate. So total propagation delay after here is TP plus 2 TG. Okay, TP plus 2 TG. If there is a next flip-flop connected with that, then the propagation delay of the next will be TP plus 3 TG, because one more AND gate will be added. It means the total propagation delay will be like TP plus n minus 2 TG. N is the number of flip-flops. So let's say if there are 4 flip-flops, so this factor is just 4 minus 2 as 2. So for example, if we are taking 5 flip-flops, so propagation delay will be 5 minus 2, 3 TG. General expression will be TP plus n minus 2 TG. Means as we are increasing the number of flip-flops, so overall conclusion is that the propagation delay, as we are increasing the number of flip-flops or increasing the bit of the counter, 4 bit, 5 bit, 6 bit, 7 bit, propagation delay increases continuously because of this addition of the AND gate. Okay, so propagation delay increases. It means the time taken by the output. What is propagation delay? Propagation delay is just the time taken by the output to produce by the flip-flop or by the counter to produce the output. So it will take more time to produce the output. Propagation delay continuously increases. It depends upon the number of n. If n increases, propagation delay increases. It means the process will be slow. The counter will produce the output slowly in a very slow process. So this process is a slow process. It will produce the output very slowly. So maximum frequency will be 1 upon TP plus n minus 2 TG. So maximum frequency will be decreases. So this type of counter, when we are using AND gate in a combination, is called synchronous or parallel counter, or you can say synchronous counter with ripple carry. These type of counter are called ripple carry. They are called synchronous counter with ripple carry. Why? Because this output is traveling to the input. Now again, the whole 3 outputs is traveling to the next flip-flop. So they are just traveling like a carry, like a ripple. So they are just traveling throughout the flip-flop like a carry. So they are also called synchronous counter with ripple carry. And the drawback of the synchronous counter with ripple carry is that the propagation delay is more, so it will produce the output in a longer time. It will produce the output and it will take more time to produce the output, so process will be slow. So this limitation will be overcome by considering synchronous counter without ripple carry. There's one more counter with that, by taking by just considering without ripple carry. We will introduce the AND gate to give the input to the next flip-flop, but not in this manner. There is a slight change in that without ripple carry counters that we will see in the next video. Rest the process remains same, the counting process remains same, only the change with the method of giving the AND gate. Okay, now one more thing, it is the up counter, because I have just explained you in the earlier lecture that whenever there is a negative clock pulse and QA moves to the preceding flip-flop, it will give up counting. If the question comes for down counting, what changes will you do in your flip-flop? That you will give the inputs from QA bar. So always keep in mind, for down counting, slight change. For negative triggered, if you are giving, you have to give the output from QA bar instead of QA. No other changes in that for down counter. So this is the example of synchronous up counter with ripple carry. I will not give the other video for down counting. There is only slight change, just change the output from QA to QA bar. That's it. So in the next video I will explain the synchronous counter without ripple carry, and there is a very slight change in that. The rest of the process remains same.